Nicki Minaj just dropped a straight-up bomb on Jay-Z, and if she's telling the truth, the whole Beyoncé empire might be nothing but smoke and mirrors.
I want to go on record of saying I never saw Jay-Z at a Diddy After Dark party. Then again, I wasn't there. So I don't know who was there. But I know that I saw Jay-Z at the Diddy party.
The rumor mill has been on fire since Diddy's wildest parties in the past 24 hours. But Nicki isn't just attacking Jay's reputation. She's shaking the very pillars of his marriage and business empire.
Apparently, Nicki Minaj has dragged Jay-Z to filth. She blasts him for being evil and spiteful.
She's claiming Jay-Z and Beyoncé's love story isn't real, calling it a lavender marriage, a show put together and controlled for years by Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's dad, and one of the slickest behind-the-scenes masterminds in music. But Nicki didn't stop at calling it fake. She went all in, saying Jay-Z isn't just tight with Diddy, he's allegedly his lover, and that Beyoncé has supposedly known the truth the whole time. This isn't some random social media clapback. This is a full-blown public takedown with names and serious consequences. These rumors have floated quietly behind closed doors for years, but Nicki's bringing them into the spotlight. She points to their ultra-secret 2008 wedding. No rings, just matching Roman numeral tattoos and 0 photos released. For a couple who's banked billions off their image, why skip every single symbol of commitment? Unless the whole setup was just smoke and mirrors, that tattoo insider whisper isn't about love. It's about brand power, legal traps, and secret contracts signed under the table with Matthew Knowles watching every move, and the whispers haven't stayed quiet. Now they're spreading like wildfire. Industry insiders claim Jay-Z and Diddy's relationship has always gone way past music or money. Behind closed doors, their connection allegedly included the same notorious freak-off parties. Private gatherings where celebs, execs, and hangarounds let loose with no rules, sometimes with every wild moment recorded, whether for insurance or leverage. This isn't street gossip anymore. Lawsuits and depositions over the past year have dragged these parties into the spotlight, and suddenly every name linked to them is under scrutiny. When Nicki says Jay wasn't just at those parties but involved with Diddy, and that Beyoncé supposedly knew and approved to keep the illusion of a perfect marriage alive, the story suddenly makes a twisted kind of sense. People are asking how much of what we see from these three is even real. And this isn't just party rumors shaking the industry. There's a timeline you can't ignore. Start with Kelly Rowland, Beyoncé's closest friend and the one who should know every secret behind those velvet ropes. In 2013, after a private dinner with Jay-Z and Beyoncé, Rowland was seen leaving in tears, a breakdown she never explained to fans or reporters. For years, the official story was that Kelly Rowland was just hit with nostalgia and memories. But come on, why would someone so used to the spotlight break down during what should have been a celebration? Her comments since then have only made the mystery deeper. Fast forward to 2021, when a seemingly innocent red carpet moment between Rowland and Jay-Z went viral. Fans fixated on how she called him Big Bro, but the real shocker was her later response. Some things I will never understand, like I see my big bro all the time, but I guess you guys never see what we see.
Remember Diddy and Jay, inseparable at the party. They just probably best friends. They probably both grew up in New York. They're New Yorkers. I don't know their relationship. I don't know what business they got going on, but they are really close with one another. They are friends.
That's not the kind of thing you say about a normal friendship. That phrase hints at a hidden layer, something so sensitive it can't be named in public. If Rowland, who spent her life protecting Beyoncé's image, is dropping hints, what else is being kept from us? It's a fair question, especially when you look at the public events shaping the Carter-Knowles empire for over a decade. Take the 2012 Grammys. Jay-Z slammed the Academy for snubbing Beyoncé year after year for Album of the Year. Rowland later called that moment a time that made artists feel seen, praising Jay-Z's courage and loyalty. But was it real emotion, or just another calculated move to cement the image of a perfect united front? Every year, the Grammy snubs make headlines, but the Carters always spin the story, staying in control and never letting a crack show. Maybe it's all been part of the act. The Diddy connection brings us to 2024 and the lawsuits that have thrown the industry into chaos. Earlier this year, a man named Joseph Menza filed a complaint accusing Diddy of horrific acts at one of those infamous Miami freak-off parties. Here's where it gets wild. Jay-Z and Beyoncé were initially listed as potential witnesses until their lawyers dropped evidence proving they were actually in Hawaii at the time. That should have been the end of it. But why would Jay-Z, supposedly untouchable, need such a detailed alibi? Just having his name appear in legal docs about Diddy's parties, even as a witness, lights up the rumor mill instantly. Sources say Jay-Z's team had that evidence ready because they already knew the rumors about him weren't new. They were preparing, not reacting. And the legal drama doesn't stop there. Rewind to 2000, right after the MTV VMAs at an exclusive after-party. Both Jay-Z and Diddy faced accusations from a woman claiming assault when she was just 13. That suit was quietly dropped with prejudice earlier this year, meaning it can never be refiled. The sudden withdrawals set off serious alarms for anyone tracking these stories. Jay-Z's lawyers immediately called the allegations a money grab and frivolous. But here's the truth. These lawsuits keep popping up, always naming the same powerful men and always getting quietly settled before the public ever sees what really went down. The timing is wild, especially when you factor in Nicki Minaj's explosive claims hitting social media just months after the case disappeared. The story's being managed behind the scenes, but it's far from gone. Then there's the Rear Saturn Wait saga. The man claiming for over a decade that Jay-Z is his biological father. According to Saturn, his mother was underage when she got pregnant in the early 90s, and Jay-Z's legal team has spent years dodging a simple DNA test using jurisdictional loopholes and technicalities. The lawsuits have bounced between Pennsylvania and New Jersey, with Saturn's camp accusing Jay-Z's attorneys of fraud and obstruction. The logic is simple. If Jay-Z's image as a family man is everything, why risk a long legal battle instead of just taking the test? Unless there's something even more damaging buried in the past, something that goes beyond paternity, touching the timeline of his rise, his relationships, and the very foundation of his partnership with Beyoncé. These legal battles and hush-hush settlements start to look less like random incidents and more like a full-blown strategy to keep the Carter Knowles brand untouchable. For years, the world has watched Beyoncé and Jay-Z sell their marriage as the ultimate power couple. Public declarations, coordinated album drops, and joint tours all designed to push the image of perfection. But if the marriage is just a front, if insiders are right, and this is all a stage show directed by Matthew Knowles, we have to ask, who's getting paid to stay quiet? Behind every red carpet, every Grammy speech, every public appearance, there's a web of managers, assistants, and longtime friends who've seen it all, but never said a word. Even now, fresh rumors are surfacing about who really knows the truth. Industry sources say there's a short list of insiders who've seen the dynamic up close, and they're silent, not out of loyalty, but because the stakes are insanely high. Some of these people signed ironclad NDAs. Others quietly vanished from public view, replaced by new faces in the Carter Knowles entourage. Former associates have hinted that the most dangerous secrets don't just involve Jay-Z and Diddy's private lives, they reveal just how far their teams have gone to bury the truth. If the marriage is just a performance and Diddy's parties are the backstage, the real question isn't who's calling the shots. It's who's getting paid to stay quiet and what Beyoncé really knows about the man she calls her husband. But as lawsuits stack up and Nicki Minaj keeps pressing the nuclear button on social media, the pressure is insane. We're left wondering if this house of cards can hold much longer. Every new whisper, every quietly settled lawsuit turns up the heat, not just on Jay-Z and Beyoncé, but on the whole network that's kept this empire standing for more than 20 years.
Jay-Z's also been linked or connected in doing business with him. Now, Jay-Z has also been tied to Diddy through rumors and longtime allegations and conspiracies. We've all seen them online, like the one that claims Jay-Z allegedly cheated on Beyoncé with Kathy.
As insiders scramble to control the story and former friends suddenly go silent, a bigger picture starts to emerge. An empire built not on love, but on mutual interests and dangerous secrets. And as questions about Jay-Z's private life collide with fresh legal and financial storms, it's getting impossible for anyone, even the most powerful, to keep everything under wraps. The money trail? It starts with Tidal and leads straight to Jay-Z's inner circle. The streaming service was supposed to be the future of music, owned by the artists, run by the artists, with Jay-Z at the helm. Everyone from Beyoncé to Nicki Minaj had a stake, but years later, Nicki blew the fantasy wide open when she admitted the truth. I didn't even get one red penny when no one promoted it harder than me outside of Beyoncé. Those words didn't just sting, they exposed cracks in the family empire. If Jay-Z's own partners are left out in the cold, what does that say about the rest of the network? Tidal wasn't just a tech experiment gone wrong. It became a test of how loyalty and image are bought and sold behind closed doors. Every payout, every silent partner, every artist left waiting for their cut. It's a shadow ledger only a few at the top ever see. Same script every time. Project Unity, cash in, and keep the real story sealed tighter than an NDA. Look at the 2020 Ivy Park PR rollout. Kelly Rowland is snapped in Beyoncé's latest athleisure line, smiling as the ultimate supportive sister. But was it pure Destiny's Child nostalgia? Or Rowland playing her part in another calculated business move? Industry sources say those photo ops are never accidental. Every time Beyoncé drops a new brand, a hand-picked group of celebs and influencers gets the call, and the narrative writes itself. Loyalty, legacy, family, it's all on display. The Ivy Park stunt wasn't just about selling leggings. It was a signal that this inner circle moves as one, no matter what's really brewing beneath the surface. It didn't stop there. The 2018 Coachella reunion shook pop culture to its core. Destiny's Child hitting the stage for the first time in years sent fans into a frenzy, and social feeds exploded. But behind the smoke and lights, it was all business. With Beyoncé's homecoming documentary on the horizon, that performance wasn't just nostalgia, it was a power move for her brand. That same weekend, Ivy Park traffic soared, and streaming numbers for the group's catalog jumped across every platform. A friendship moment that conveniently padded pockets and reinforced the empire. Every time the trio shared a stage, the world was nudged to forget the tears, rumors, and emotional distance that sometimes peeked through. Meanwhile, the legal headaches didn't vanish. Saturn Waite's paternity fight with Jay-Z never went away. It just went underground. Saturn claims Jay-Z's legal team ran a shell game, bouncing the case from one jurisdiction to another to dodge a simple DNA test and misleading the court about Jay-Z's New Jersey property. Even his own attorney had to admit she misspoke, a convenient slip that delayed the case and kept Saturn locked out of answers. That technicality looked like a calculated stall. Every year that dragged by, the myth of Jay-Z as the untouchable family man grew, while the people at the edges of his world fought battles in the shadows of the court system. But the shadow games didn't stop with Saturn Waite in 2024. Another lawsuit with even higher stakes threatened to blow open a decades-old scandal, reaching back to a 2000 VMA after-party with accusations aimed at both Jay-Z and Diddy. The details were shocking, the timeline intense. But then, in a move so fast it made lawyers blink, Jay-Z's team produced airtight evidence. He wasn't in Florida at the time. The plaintiff withdrew the suit with no explanation. On the surface, it seemed closed, but anyone paying attention had to ask, since when does a billionaire need a hyper-detailed alibi for a party 20 years ago? If Jay-Z is so clean, why is his legal team always 2 steps ahead, ready to snuff out fires before they even start? Lawyers get paid to protect clients, sure, but this level of speed and precision suggests something deeper. People with nothing to hide don't usually keep that many receipts. And it's not just the lawsuits that raise eyebrows. Beyoncé's 2020 album Renaissance exploded onto the scene, celebrating queer ballroom culture with guest stars, sampled legends, and a fresh sound that signaled evolution. Critics called it bold and progressive, but not everyone was buying the timing. Industry insiders are whispering that every move might have been strategically calculated. Insiders started asking, was this artistic growth or a calculated pivot to distract from mounting questions about her marriage? Rumors about Jay-Z's private life were hitting critical mass, and the couple doubled down, flooding culture with their image as untouchable icons of inclusivity and self-expression. The message was loud and clear. Don't look at the cracks, look at the spectacle. But the bigger the show, the more people wondered what was being hidden in plain sight. Distract, dominate, deny. That seems to be the real playbook whenever financial or personal questions start swirling, or when a new business venture drops. When scandals threaten the fairy tale stage, a family reunion or empowering public gesture is ready, and every crisis is met with a tightly controlled counter-narrative. The insiders who once whispered to the press have vanished, replaced by a wall of publicists and lawyers whose specialty is making stories disappear. Meanwhile, people like Nicki Minaj and Rear Saturn Wait are left shouting into the void. Their claims get buried under new headlines and trending hashtags. But no matter the choreography, the money always leaves a trail. Title payouts, Ivy Park contracts, hush money settlements, and expensive legal battles. These are the moves that keep the empire standing. When Nicki Minaj called out Jay-Z publicly, she wasn't just airing a personal gripe, she was ripping the lid off how business really gets done at the top. No matter how much the brand preaches family unity or empowerment, the receipts tell a completely different story. When loyalty and silence are bought, it's only a matter of time before someone refuses to cash the check. What's going on with you, Nicki? What are you willing to share today? As these threads collide, suspicious business deals, sudden settlements, dropped lawsuits, and perfectly timed embraces of queer culture, the question becomes impossible to ignore. When the world's most powerful couple starts looking more like the world's most elaborate cover-up, you have to ask, who's really in control and what happens when the script flips? Are we watching a love story, a business merger, or the final act of a decades-long performance? And now we want to hear from you. Does this mountain of receipts, rumors, and legal sidesteps make you see Jay-Z and Beyoncé differently? What's really happening behind those perfect Instagram posts and platinum albums? Drop your wildest theories in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and keep your eyes peeled. The next bombshell is always just one headline away. Until then, stay curious, stay bold, and remember, in the world of celebrity secrets, nothing is ever as simple as it seems.